Hello everybody, welcome back to the shop. Alright guys. Oh, rats. Alright. You can see. I went by Dad's shop yesterday and picked up our new landing gear actuators. Okay, you guys remember this one? I made a long time ago. This thing worked really, really good. It was just too big. A little bit too long. Then I found these. These are a planetary gear motor. 6 volts, 133 RPM. Got a 6,000 amp stall current. Alright. That means this thing's just got tons of power and you can't stop it. Okay? Now, what I had to do is come up with some kind of mounting device. Okay, here's a finished one. So you can't turn that by hand, and works off of threads. Made us a plate for the top. There's an empty one right here. There's a plate for the top. Hollow tube. Alright. We take this, and this has got nice little mounting holes right on the top. This thing's going to be solid, guys. I got this figured out. Their main gear problem solved. I should have did this a long time ago. I actually found all this stuff before I found them little actuators. And I just thought them little actuators going to be the answer to my trouble, and all I got from them was a bunch of grief. Okay? Okay, so let me get this on now. We got our threaded part. Where did it go? Alright, it was right here. Where did it go? Where did it go? Okay, now I got this piece. Now, I'd rather use threaded rod, but where we went they didn't have any. But just a proof of concept, I got a steel piece of all thread. I'd rather have brass so it don't corrode, but that's alright. This is just kind of a proof of concept thing going on here. Make sure it's going to work. Okay, put them screws in. There's a flat spot on this shaft and a set screw right there. Basically what we did is we took a piece of brass tubing, just a hollow piece of brass tubing, get it at any hardware store. Okay? Took another piece of brass and drilled it out, put a set screw in it. Another piece of brass, I drilled it and tapped it. Them pieces are about 3/8 of an inch long on both ends. And this pretty much just looked like a wheel collar almost, you know, that fit right in the end of that brass tubing. Soldered them in place. Okay, with a torch. Alright. Now, we take, mount this bad boy right there. So we're on that flat spot. Okay, now come back and tighten these screws up. We know it ain't gonna rub anywhere. So I have to auger them bolts out. This hole in the center. So this piece of brass will fit inside there because the axle didn't fit out very far. It's alright because we need this just short, small as we can get it. Think small, be small. Okay. See, now look, this was just a little bit too long. Remember? It was just a little bit too long. Look at the difference. And this is a 4-inch throw. This is only 3. Because this shaft actually goes inside there about that far. So I got more travel and a lot smaller. Look at that. Bam, that's a big difference. Okay. Now, just for this one, I made me and Dad, our other idea for a mountain bracket was to put another plate on the back, but mount kind of a half moon thing on it, you know, like so, and make the mountain poles back there. And then I came up with a better idea, easier. All I gotta do is make one part. This is just, I made out of wood just a while ago, just thought of it. Okay, bam. So I'm gonna put both out there one side. And I could still cut 1/4 inch off this tube. Yeah. I can still cut a little bit off that tube and be plenty. It's going to fit in there just great. It's going to fit and it's going to work. But then I'm going to, after I slide that in there, I can drill and tap a couple screws in that way out of aluminum. But I think today I just want to kind of hook it up to that wing and make sure it's going to fit. See, it's going to pivot right there, and I think it's going to look awesome. Now, as far as turning it on and off, okay, I called them at Down and Lock, and they said they could make me a board. Okay, and all we got to do is plug this thing in, and it'll, when it reaches its end points, it'll bind up and stop. But I think that's one of the big downfalls of electric reed tracks. That's why they get stuck in the middle. And I want to try something else. I got a bunch of these micro switches, guys. You know, gear go up, turn off. I know I can put the one on the main spar. I can put this right on the main spar. And when that landing gear comes up and hits it, it turns it off. Hold it up there nice and tight. You get anything in the way, this thing is going to crush it. And you know, they sell smaller micro switches, but I got there's a spot this big inside that wheel well. And them things are going up. You know what I mean? They're coming up and they're coming down until they hit that micro switch, crush anything in its path. That's what I want to do. I don't care if a walnut bounces up off the runway and gets lodged in there. It'll just crush it. That's what I'm going for. Okay. Let's just kind of stick this in the old Vice-A-Rooney. Snug it up. Plug it in. See, this will hold solid on the gear. And that's gonna lift that whole thing, man. slowing it down. Now, I got an extension arm on my gear to help out them littler activators, and I can take them off and make it all work a little bit faster. You know, but as long as they're coming up and going down, I don't care, I guess. And locking. See, that's the big deal with air, guys. Them locks, I just don't, them locks are gonna fail. I just don't like that setup. It was working so hard. It was breaking, shearing off bolts, making the gear sloppy, and just had a hard time with them air. I think this will work much better. I just should have came up with this idea a little bit sooner. I've seen the parts, but and that's what gave me this idea. I think it's going to work fantastic. All I got to do is put my big ball link on here and mount it right there and put it in that wing. It's already good to go. Everything's up. You know, just replace them other things I got in there. I don't know, that's what I came up with. And I got to get the rest of these bulkheads glued in here today, so I can get started on all the feathers and wings, get them glassed. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the rest of these bulkheads fit. Kind of stumped in here a little bit. Okay, and if you look at them pictures, I got two of these. These go right up here on that shelf and right there on that bulkhead, okay? And that's where you're supposed to glue it. Okay? On this other piece, there's about, on the pictures it looks like it's like that, flush on the top. But to make this all work out, when you put that in there, it pushes that dude down about 3/8 of an inch. I'm kind of stumped. Sure don't want to take that piece of wood and twist it. But I'm thinking it's just going to have to glue up here like so. And go on the outside with this gauge. That's what that gauge is for. I don't know. I'm going to steal on that and get all these bulkheads up here fit, and I might make another video or two. Till then, we will see you guys back in the